Arsenal 2-1, Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal are in the Premier League title race. There's no question about it. To be 4 points off Liverpool, and Arsenal haven't really found their gear yet. They haven't. They've been getting through results, getting by, looking decent at points, particularly at the start of the season. And in the last few weeks, they've looked flat. They bombed out of the FA Cup. Kai Havertz has struggled. And still, they're right on the heels of Liverpool. And I know Liverpool got their game in hand. But when Champions League football comes around, when the latter stage of the FA Cup competitions come around, even a League Cup final, which Liverpool, by the way, are 1-0 down at the moment. You know, this Liverpool side have drawn a few games as well in the last few weeks. Arsenal finally capitalises on Liverpool drawing games. They obviously drew to Manchester United. They drew to Nottingham Forest. They drew to Fulham. So all I'm saying is Arsenal are in a title race. They're not favourites. They're nowhere near as close as they ought to be based on the quality of the squad that they've got and the experience. But make no question about it, this result against Spurs was difficult. It always is, even if Spurs are absolutely terrible. The North London derby always has goals. I can't think of any 0-0s really in the last few years. It always ends up with Spurs scoring first and Arsenal getting back into the game. Obviously, there's been a couple of 2-2 draws and stuff like that, and Harry Kane scored some unbelievable goals. In this game, it was a little bit more clunky, it was a little bit more messy. But Arsenal getting over the line, it's one of their best performances this season in that regard. It really is. And they controlled the game in the final 20 minutes. They really controlled the game. We're going to break down all the goals. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and obviously talk about Arsenal's next few fixtures, where it leaves them in the Premier League title race. Obviously a big game against Newcastle in the League Cup as well, and Champions League returns as well. Son obviously makes it 1-0, 25 minutes in, the ball comes in from a corner. Not one Arsenal man, particularly someone like maybe Raheem Sterling, who's the most experienced forward player that usually would patrol the edge of the box. Doesn't go out to Son. Son shoots, a good effort. A lot of players would hit it rose Z and no one would question them, but he gets his head over the ball. It's a kind of volley that bounces out from the edge of the box. And it deflects off Gabriel, I think it was, into the bottom of the corner of the goal. So on some level, it was a good finish from Son. Quiet for a large part of the game. Quiet for a large part of this season. Let's be completely real. And you feel actually Arsenal, this is the big moment now. Even if they draw the game, it would be considered failure by a lot of Arsenal fans. It would do. And they had to win this game, particularly with Spurs. You think they're really fallible at this point. You think they're vulnerable. And Arsenal did capitalise on that only 20 minutes later. Declan Rice with this unbelievable ball that clearly they've been working on the training ground. They've got a set-piece coach. You know, his face is on the side of the stadium. So they have to stick to it, don't they? And Declan Rice, the ball is absolutely outrageous. A facet of his game that is completely underrated by football fans, Arsenal fans, maybe England fans. He's got a very good set-piece on him, Declan Rice. He can whip things with a lot of venom. And it beats the whole Spurs back line. There should be a little bit more better defending. I mean, if you look at Dragusin for the goal on Gabriel, Gabriel's running back post. Dragusin isn't goal side. I mean, it's just Sunday League stuff. And then there's Solanke as well. Solanke and Dragusin that aren't goal side of Gabriel, who must be the best defender in the world in the box. I think that's fair to say in terms of an offensive. He's the kind of John Terry version of this generation in terms of John Terry, the amount of goals that John Terry would get from these kind of positions. And Gabriel does enough. It becomes an own goal, actually, if you look at the score sheet, but it's all Gabriel's goal because he does so much work to get around their back post, the fitness levels, the energy, the sprinting to kind of get there in such a quick amount of time. It's outrageous, really, from Gabriel. I know it's another set piece, but it was really important for Arsenal because you felt that Spurs really should be trying to see the game out. There's a lack of patience with Spurs. There's a lack of calmness. They're so naive through and through. And I don't really know what happened for Spurs today because I thought they were dangerous in the first half. Not amazing, and neither were Arsenal, to be honest. But Arsenal just were able to grip the game in the second half and keep it, 2-1. Keep it exactly what Arsenal needed out of the game. And Spurs, I think, I sort of think they bottled it. I really do. 44 minutes, Leandro Trossard gets it off the left, shoots from just outside the box, I think it was, under the keeper, who's highly rated, Kinski, highly rated keeper, but it goes right under him. It's a terrible bit of goalkeeping. It's shocking, really. He has to be doing a whole lot better than that. And he's cost Tottenham Hotspur massively. They go into half-time, Tottenham, and they make some substitutions on the other side of it. Basuma comes off, Sarr comes off. Now, I don't think they're having poor games, and Bergvall was definitely outshining them in midfield. No question about it. but they played right into Arsenal's hands. It's like you're away from home. You need the legs of Basuma. You need the legs of Sarr. I think you could have taken Basuma off. I thought he was a little bit worse on the ball than Sarr today. I think Sarr's got a little bit more legs about him. They're slightly different players, but both of them get taken off for James Maddison, who I think has a nice little turn and a nice little movement. Has a goal in him, for sure. He's far more creative than Sarr or Basuma. We all know that. But I think you lose so much control. Why are you losing your defensive midfielders in an away game? It's not like look, if you're 4-0 down in the first half, I actually kind of get the substitutions. Because Brennan Johnson comes on a bit of pace on the counter-attack, see what you can do. James Maddison, I get it. For the goal factor, if you need to get back in the game, you're 3-0 down, 4-0 down. Being 2-1 down, it was like a knee-jerk reaction from Tottenham. They completely played into the hands of Arsenal, in my opinion. And Arsenal did what I thought they should be doing more of this season, is playing Partey in midfield. Odegaard and Declan Rice either side of him. That's their best midfield by a country mile. They controlled everything going on in the midfield area for Arsenal. They dominated possession for large parts of the game. Skelly stepping into midfield was absolutely fantastic. Jurrien Timber was absolutely fantastic. The big issue for Arsenal is that I thought they were leaps and bounds above Spurs in the second half in terms of just controlling the game and being the more mature side. Ange Postecoglou throwing his toys out the pram. On some level, it was. Unless there's an injury I don't know about, I'll hold my hands up. I don't think there was. And Arteta just kind of schooled him a little bit. And you saw that with the patience and the quality of Arsenal's midfield. I would be a little bit concerned again about Kai Havertz's form. He missed a big chance in the second half. That I think he took on his left foot, gets blocked, and he's got to play a little rebound into Raheem Sterling. The ball into Raheem Sterling is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, I was livid watching it. I couldn't believe how this guy can't even link up play. I mean, can't even pass a ball straight with power into someone's feet for them to just cushion that into the back of the net. It's a simple layoff. And it's just so frustrating. They can't keep going on because it feels like actually Arsenal playing with 10 men with Kai Havertz. It really does. The midfield have to work harder. Every chance that comes is gold dust because Kai Havertz isn't scoring them. And you're getting more goals from centre backs. You're getting goals from deflections, bad keeping. Trossard, yes, gets the goal. Was good today. So is Sterling. But with Kai, it's not just about what Kai Havertz does in terms of him missing chances. It's not just about that. It's actually about the fact that he makes other players have to be more prolific in what they do and what they try to achieve, and puts a lot more pressure on them as well. We don't really talk about that, and it's a squad game. I think you have to just take Kai Havertz out of this side. Really, I really do. Maybe Trossard down the middle, Martinelli. For me, that's a better now front three than Arsenal currently showing with Kai Havertz, in my opinion. Arsenal, let's talk about their fixtures going forward. I can see them building momentum. I think this Liverpool machine is still very strong, arguably too strong on some level based on the players they've got there. You know, Trent, Van Dijk, Salah, Diaz, all these guys, Gravenberch. But Arsenal play Liverpool. Arsenal, on some level, if they get crashed out of the League Cup, will have one less game to worry about in the final. You obviously want to be in the final, but Liverpool might have to worry about a final. The squad issues when they were going for the quadruple a couple of times under Jurgen Klopp, which says a lot about him, it fell off because of the squad. And I'd still say that you could argue that FSG should have done a little bit more with the squad, given Liverpool a little bit more maybe options in midfield. And Arsenal, if they get Saka back early March, maybe a late addition in the transfer window, they've got more than enough experience and quality to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. And look, Chelsea have dropped off. City dropped points this week. And Nottingham Forest are nowhere near. They're just having a run to see how far they can go. They're nowhere near competing with Liverpool on the pitch, are they? Let's be completely real. So it's Arsenal and Liverpool to win the Premier League title this season. And 4 points off is a fantastic position for them to do it. I think they can beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa's form a little bit patchy. Wolves away. I think they'll beat Wolves away. And the big one, it'll be Arsenal versus Man City. Man City there for the taking defensively. Arsenal at some point will have to open up. They got Girona, Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League with Newcastle away after that. So they're going to have to open up. They're going to have to be a little bit more free scoring. They were a few weeks ago. They were putting fives past sides, smash Palace, smash West Ham. I do feel if Arsenal can just get it right, even 5-10% more out of Havertz or 5-10% more out of a front three, it doesn't include Havertz. I think that's probably the best solution. Then suddenly I do think Arsenal is still a really big force to be reckoned with if Odegaard, Rice, Saliba, Timber all stay fit. And if that kind of nucleus stay fit, I think they've got a fantastic opportunity this season, Arsenal. They're creeping along. you're talking February, March, April, May of football. There's a lot of football to go still. I think they're in a title race. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you very, very soon.